Oh, welcome back, Dota 2 fans. After a 68-minute thriller, what was at times a Chinese farming war, but ended up being definitely some late-game heavy decision-making, ends up going Vici Potential's way, and they're able to bring down EP in the first game of this best of two. But already the lightning round draft commences in this game too. Happy to have you back on HeflaTV. One more H please, and Heflamoke, your casters for this one. EP gonna open up with that Shadow Fiend once again, presumably for Old Chicken. They're gonna grab up Xiao Tulay's Clockwork in this one, and Lin will go right back for his Queen of Pain Earthshaker. Gonna be the second pickup from Vici.
Did you just unmute your microphone halfway during the intro, so I didn't hear it?
I might have.
Yeah, so I can't criticize. Okay, I see what you did there. Anyway, what an amazing game one, man. That was really, really amazing. The only thing that was not amazing was then the final defense of Energy Pacemaker, even though it didn't feel like they were the team to defend. But I mean, 70 minutes into a game, then every single thing can matter. And the ages...
Yeah.
On the Tusk, it actually mattered. Him coming back, the Bloodseeker surviving that last fight really on super low HP, and just not enough oomph on the supports as well. So yeah, that was, I don't know, very anticlimactic, to be honest. I was thinking we still have another 20 minutes to go potentially, but that didn't really happen. EP losing after a very nice game, but also Vici Potential. They have a lot of potential. The name is real.
They definitely lived up to their namesake in that game one. Lin pretty much beasting in that one. Dogfights with some really nice graves on the Dazzle 2. Yang really garnering a lot of the focus of EP in those team fights. And we saw it there in that last engagement. They only been able to bring down that Tusk, who was really far forward with that BKB, just running amok through their team. So this time, Energy Pacemaker going to look to remedy the fact that Xiao Tulay, one of their standout players, was a little bit lackluster. I mean, with a hero like Pugna, you just can't make super flashy plays. He made the one beautiful life drain save on that Shadow Fiend uphill, but other than that was super quiet all game long. This time they'll pick up the Clockwork for him.
Yep, absolutely. It's Clockwork, something that has to go through, and like of the typical core ones, like Unlink's out, Tusk is out, so there's really not much left of what the Chinese always want to bring in. VG Gaming, they ran once with the Queen of Pain and the Bloodseeker, and they go again. Earthshaker this time didn't make it because they focused also on the Bounty Hunter, because the Bounty Hunter would have been also a pick you would have seen. The Dazzle, by the way, since there was nothing that actually went for the Dazzle disable, I mean, there was no diffusal, there was no axe, nothing that actually goes through Shallow Grave. He really made a lot of plays. Like that Tusk surviving so many times because he was always the frontliner. It's mostly due to Shallow Grave. That's why I'm also saying, like, the utility items and everything coming out by the supports, I thought there is really more possible, especially if you are the team that has track on your side, which means everybody, even the supports, they just get, a lot of gold of these fights. But no, it didn't really happen.
Yeah, Fan as well, a little bit lackluster on that Razor, and Vici did a great job to just, you know, Razor is one of those heroes that you want to throw up and dare the enemy team to jump into, because generally with that unstable current and his item builds, he's pretty darn tanky. But I mean, with the double Sonic Wave and the Laguna Blade with the Aghanim's upgrade, Vici Gaming had no trouble bringing that Razor down, and all of it was on the back of the Old Chicken, and as you mentioned, a couple of those clutch graves saving a few heroes, and all of a sudden your Shadow Fiend is stuck 4v1. So VG, go with the Darkseer in this one towards their off lane. What are your thoughts about this Darkseer? I feel like he needs a little bit too much sustained damage, and against the Dazzle may not be as effective as Vici want him to. There is the potential, though, of course, for that Vacuum Sonic Wave.
I mean, in general, the Darkseer is a nice offlaner, so we have the Clockwork as well as the Darkseer, like one of the most popular
stable laners,
offliners in the Chinese scene, even in the West. The Clockwork is more preferred for the Chinese, that's a fact. The Darkseer, however, is someone that actually scales quite okay-ish. The only problem I have, of course, is that he can't really make those lockdown plays then in the end, but if he's 6-slotted at some point, which is easy to achieve on a Darkseer, obviously later on, he can play some nice roles. Plus the wall is scaling nicely. Imagine the last game and a wall vacuum before the BKBs or after the BKBs are popped. Like that Shadow Fiend, the Razor, etc., they would have just really killed themselves on illusions.
Yeah, definitely some physical damage, a little bit scary against themselves from the SF. Echo Slam is there on top of the vacuum as well that I didn't mention with the Sonic Wave. Vici are going to ban out the Razor here, interestingly enough. Don't know when the last time I've seen a Razor ban was, but they'll take that away from Fan despite being able to really reliably deal with it last game. But either way, it looks like EP are still looking for Fan's hero here. And on the Vici side of things, they're looking for probably dogfights as 5 position, unless they get a little bit of a greedier support for James here, other than the Earthshaker.
Yep. At the moment, I'm not really sure who's supposed to actually benefit too much of that Iron Shell. I mean, Bloodseeker, yes, he can catch up to the target still. Mostly, if the target is not ruptured, it will run away. So you have a small uptime of Iron Shell. For the Earthshaker, later on, big jumps, big Echo Slams, big lockdown on a single target, and you might actually get a full uptime on that Iron Shell, so it's cool. Other than that, it's more or less the Darks here, and I don't know. I don't think Iron Shell in the late game will play that much of a role. However, VG Gaming, they love pure damage. They love spell piercing stuff. So it's Lina again. It's Queen of Pain again. The same combo. Last time Energy Pacemaker picked what, Razor as their second core. Shadow Fiend obviously was good on Old Chicken. But what do they go for again? You think it's... I mean, it's not going to be a Razor because it's banned, but like, what is a good alternative?
I mean, the similar hero, I suppose, is the Viper. That would be a little bit of a boring pickup here. I wouldn't mind for them to go for an illusion hero before seeing the Earthshaker, but yeah, it's not really the most appealing one at this point. Fan does play a pretty mean Spectre. I wouldn't mind for them to go for a little bit more of a late game insurance policy there. They have the Grave as well. The Haunt's going to be pretty nice up against Vici potential, but Radiance Illusions are always kind of tough to go into that Dark Seer wall, so maybe that deters them from that pick. It could be the Phantom Lancer here. Of course, the Echo Slam is a little bit hard, but the Diffusal Blade is so nice up against all these mana reliant heroes. So I'd still kind of like to see one of these illusion based heroes. Maybe they even go for something unorthodox like an Ursa. We haven't seen that in quite a while. The Wyvern being out of the pool, he could do a lot of damage, but Bloodseeker probably picks up a Blade Mail, so Ursa maybe not the best pick either.
Or go full-time greedy with the Anti-Mage or something like that. Yeah. Like, Anti-Mage would be not too bad against a lot of magical damage coming out. I mean, there's still a lot of pure damage and spell piercing stuff, but, well, it's a percentage.
I feel like any Abyssal Blade building one position is really nice against the Queen of Pain and the Bloodseeker. You go for the Ember.
Ember, okay. I mean, Ember means a lot of mobility, and then, I mean, just to mention the last game with the Ember, that would also mean you bring some damage from the low ground to the high ground. You can say, like, oh, look, there's like 2 or 3 heroes grouped up, and you just double Daedalus, 1 Battle Fury or 2 Battle Furies, and crit them down, which means they are pushed back to the fountain. You can get more siege damage, and that would be interesting, let's say it like this. But then again, the Ember is also a target you can easily shut down because it's low HP, low armor target, and I'm kind of afraid of this.
It makes the Orchid build more appealing as well for Lynn's Queen of Pain. Orchid really does work against Fan. The one thing that's maybe good for Fan here on his Ember Spirit is he's deceptively susceptible to physical damage, and that's not something Vici have an abundance of at this point. So with the Flame Guard, at least early on before all the pure damage comes out, he could be able to jump around in these engagements and do a bit of work. Either way, guys, second game of this 2-game series here. Vici potential able to take that first game in 68 minutes. EP going to be playing on the dire side, 5400. Once again, going to pick up his Rubik. Going to run into Yang here. Not going to be able to lift it up in time for Fan to get in range. Fan, does pick up the Ember Spirit. Has the Searing Chains here. The raises, not going to be skilled up yet for Old Chicken, though, as that would hurt his lane quite a bit. He'll pick up the SF. Lei going to be on the Dazzle. And finally, Xiao Tu Lei over on perhaps what will be a more exciting hero for him, the Clockwork, in this game, too.
It's still a nice engagement for the mana cost of Chains as well as the Telekinesis. You force him into almost using 2 Tangos. That's all good. So we have Yang on the Darkseer who was just under attack. Right next to him there is the guy with the really long dogfights. And he's already sitting on that Fissure button. James is going to play again the Lina transitioning sooner or later into damage. And oh, this is gonna be a fight here, but at the moment Iron Shell, oh, something you really don't want to be. Old Chicken getting so much damage. There is the heal, but not really impressive. The chains, well, there should be a blink. No,
nice deny. Very nicely played by
beautiful.
Fan. Yeah, that's actually a lot bigger than most people would think, just because First Blood Gold can give you quite a bit. But yeah, as you mentioned, James picking up that Lina once again, and he's pretty effective in his ability to farm there. Lin on the Queen of Pain, and finally XLL once again on the Bloodseeker. So it seems like comfort zone heroes here for VG.P.
Okay, so the game, yes, it shows 1-0, but guys, this is completely even. Nobody really lost anything. Okay, it's 100 gold down for the Shadow Fiend just to TP into the mid, but no souls lost, no XP lost, everything's totally fine. It's a nice start into the game. Like, these teams do not disappoint. That's a fact.
Lei gonna be doing quite a bit of right click harass towards Yang. He's just barely off that level 2, so didn't have the surge to get away. But Darkseer, as you mentioned in the draft, very self-sufficient laner, very stable laner, and shouldn't have too hard of a time unless they rotate in everyone over in terms of the supports to bring him down.
I love what Lei is at the moment doing on the Darkseer. Like, really, that's the harass. That's the real harass. And with that Observer Ward directly on the shop spot, pretty much. He also had vision around the trees, no ringer around the Rosie. That just didn't work out. Rubik at the moment visiting Old Chicken's lane. I guess just securing that he gets some nice screams up. But oh, blink forward. That's a very interesting blink. There should be a telekinesis into the tower. Oh, the raises and the Fisher. One more right click and Old Chicken is going down. But no, the deny is coming again through. It's unbelievable. Second deny, and Queen of Pain is actually the first blood of this game. The real first blood.
Yeah, it seems like Lin went in quite a bit early for the Earthshaker's rotation there. Maybe was expecting that Fisher a little bit earlier. Takes a few tower shots, so 5400's presence in the mid lane paying off there. And Shadow Fiend not able to get the experience for that one. Or did get the experience for the Queen of Pain, but having to drop actually kind of gives him a free trip to the base where his bottle lies. So it's going to help him out in this lane.
Well, we should make a drink game out of this. How many denies do we see in this game? Every time that's a shot. At the moment, we would be already half drunk. Anyway, Lina, that's a very, very interesting dive, but she has a haste turn. So yeah. James is just saying like hello and goodbye.
Indeed, and not picked up that level 2 quite yet on the Lina, so rotations around from both supports here, but it seems like Lei has been, or would have been, the beneficiary of this, but giving so much harass over to Yang, he hasn't found any lane experience either. XLL diving deep bot lane, but Xiao Tu Lei pops off that battery assault, excuse me.
Oh, look at top. That might actually be interesting because the triple Iron Shell creeps are not in range, and now he's salving up. Well, now the creeps actually interrupt him. He's running through the towers, but his movement speed is so good, and that should just do the trick right there. What a healing bomb. Nicely timed by the Dazzle as the creeps arrive. I think that was like 4 targets on him, blowing him up there at the same time.
Yeah, just barely got the chains off there, and they're able to bomb him up as he gets the surge off. So Yang will be the first casualty in terms of the offlaners for these two teams. And the 1v1 matchup, bot lane is proving decent for Xiao Tu Lei. He's already picked up his level 4. Mid lane dogfights gonna be found out here. Miss uphill from Lei, but the Fade Bolt, one more right click is there, and dogfight's just gonna kind of sit there and accept his fate. And 2 deaths in about a minute for VG.P in the early game, looking a lot more promising for EP in this one than perhaps it did in game 1.
And now the question is, what else do we see? At the moment, the offlaners are working quite okay. The Clockwork is really able to stall time and everything, so that's all good. He's burning mana, he's pulling some creeps to the side, he's making decent XP, more than the Darkseer, so his lane is just fine. The only problem he has is James permanently harassing him.
Yeah, James doing a little bit of pulls that he was able to disrupt, but now going to be present in lane as well. And with that level 2, has more than enough spell power to zone back this Clockwork. Meanwhile, mid lane, Thirst stacks are there for the vision on Old Chicken, and he's brought low from the Shadow Sec, but he's going to turn for a raise and a right click. It won't be quite enough to bring down dogfights, and 5400 a little bit too late to the party on the
rocket
Rubik.
flare. If it was level 2, it could actually take one of them out. They have still had some nice vision, but is it flying? I don't think so. Nope. He does not go for it.
Yeah, just that level 1, not quite enough damage. I'm sure he probably got a click in as the SF dies. 5400 though, Invis Rune mid lane, and they could go for a triple raise play here onto Lin with the telekinesis. Oh, but 5400 is going to have his plans thwarted there. Lin very smart TP out right away, and she's gonna find her bottle over on the courier, or crow her bottle over on the courier as well, to try and sustain in lane.
Yeah, that should have been a fast reaction by the Rubik. Held in place by the level 1 telekinesis, that's 1.5 seconds, enough for 2 erases. Did not really happen. There's a Fisher coming out, and the Rubik actually kills off the Earthshaker. That
Easiest
is
fade bolt of
right
his
there.
life.
Yeah, I mean, that was punishing greed. The Earthshaker did not go back, he was still low from the previous fight, and also top, well, bottom, I mean, the Clockwork going down thanks to the Lina there.
Yeah, they're able to grab him in underneath the cogs there and bring him down. 3 stacks of Thirst onto XLL, doing quite a bit of damage, and now he's got that Rupture up available as well, so can look to start, make some rotations, or at least punch this Clockwork a bit more. Either way, Deep Ward going to be dropped here mid lane by 5400, going to give them quite a bit of information. He's going to get the telekinesis up onto Lin, try and bring him back, but with the blink, Lin should be more than fine here. He has the Sonic Wave as well, may want to turn this, actually held onto his blink. There's a Sonic Wave, Rupture there as well onto the Rubik, brings him down. They're going to jump forward with the Blood Raged Old Chicken SF, but he's actually going to turn for some raises. Lin definitely needs to be careful there, can do quite a bit of damage with that amplification.
Yeah, actually nice rotation by the Bloodseeker. As soon as he dings level 6, he's just going somewhere and takes whatever he can find. The Rubik was a very convenient target. Low HP. The Sonic Wave was also available, so VG aligning there and like 2 nice kills. First, they have that nice kill on the offlane, where they didn't need to use the Rupture on the Clockwork. It was really just him being caught in his own cogs. And then, yeah, rotating mid, making a second one. Good for the Bloodseeker, and good also to restore some faith into that mid lane here for Vici, because it was, yeah, with the Earthshaker dying, with the denies, that was really awkward. But top, Darkseer still running the Surge, not enough. There is a Remnant forward, and another kill. So the offlaner's dying here at the moment by the thousands.
Fan involved in 2 kills now on the Ember Spirit, isn't farming CS-wise as well as XLL, as the Ion Shell has deterred him a bit from doing that. But being involved in a couple kills, definitely nice for this Ember Spirit early on. Already the Phase Boots bottle available to him, and he can start to make some rotations now with those Remnants as well, perhaps towards that mid lane. But either way, Zhao Tule very close to eclipsing that level 6 mark and picking up his hook shot, so look for him to begin making some plays as well.
And he has to be careful, because if he's Ruptured up and James is around, then you have to move, otherwise you get a Light Strike Array, Dragon Slave, and then at that point you're so low HP that the Bloodseeker will finish you off even regardless of the Rupture. So Clockwork, you gotta be careful. He's also, oh my god, beautiful hook here on that Earthshaker right now. He can't really do anything, he can't cast anything, but, oh, he's getting surged up, and there's the bounce. No, he doesn't get it through, not enough mana for it. There it is, the rocket was just about enough.
Yeah, they're going to force Lin back mid lane over towards the high ground as well. So Old Chicken diving deep with Lei, but XLL going to rotate in, gets the Rupture off onto the Shadow Fiend, and now Old Chicken stuck in place. No Requiem available despite being level 7. Lin, though, getting super low and is going to drop. Shadow Fiend was brought down beforehand, so the Queen of Pain was able to get the experience there, it seems. But either way, still looks decent for a trade for EP. Ends up being a 2 for 2 overall.
That was a very interesting engagement. I mean, the Queen of Pain, I had the feeling she could have done it from further range and everything, but luckily enough, she blinked forward, and that was very convenient for the Shadow Fiend, because the only race he had left was the minimum range one. So he was like, okay, sure, I'm gonna take you with me.
Yeah, able to do so, and Zhao Tule, just as the Bloodseeker did, immediately makes a rotation off of his level 6 pickup. Earthshaker, probably one of the most annoying heroes to play up against the Clockwork. He can't cast anything once the battery assault is popped off, so he gets brought down despite the Surge being used on him, and having that Surge on cooldown maybe also a little bit detrimental to VG.P, as perhaps they could have saved the Queen of Pain.
The Rupture on the Clockwork. He has not enough mana for anything, no TP, and the rotations are coming in. There's the telekinesis. The Clockwork is running, gets killed, so he also heals up. That is not how it worked. With a stick or anything like that, he could have casted the cogs, and that might have been a kill on the Bloodseeker, but it was completely drained out of mana.
Yeah, the Dazzle, unfortunately, with the longer of the 2 TPs, was the one with the Shallow Grave. So 5400 unable to save his ally there. And a 3rd kill for XLL's Bloodseeker, already 3-0-2, and has that Midas recipe in base about to come out to him at about that 10-minute mark.
Yeah, the Bloodseeker is definitely going to be happy in this game. It's working fine so far for him. The Shadow Fiend's going for a mech build, by the way, and top. That the Darks here, what is he doing? At the moment, he's trying to hide with all those creeps, getting so much damage just with the Flame Guard level 3 already on, and no chains even needed. But look at the Shadow Fiend in the mid. I think we just see the death animation right there.
He paused the game, interestingly enough. I don't know if that was a misclick or something, but nothing said in chat. Either way,
what's the panic face roll on the keyboard?
SF gonna go down just as the Darkseer does, and still a nice win for Vici across the map as they bring down that old chicken SF for the 5th time in this game. Two denies, I suppose, but...
Yeah, 2 denies. Like, they don't count, but of course in the end it really looks like this. There is a smoke. I'm just not sure if that's really a potential smoke. The only crazy damage coming out here is by the Clockwork. He needs to find a clean target. Maybe it comes down with a rotation into bottom, a TP on the Bloodseeker. But also top, someone is looking for it. The Lina is there, Laguna Plate is up. They could easily blow up the Ember Spirit if there's enough damage and he doesn't get the Flame Guard off, for example. Oh, but bottom.
Yeah, they're going to find out XLL, and Zhao Tule will just walk up to him casually under smoke. Pop off the battery assault, saves the hookshot. Very efficient play from Zhao Tule there, and they bring down the Bloodseeker with relative ease. Was a little too far forward for not seeing anyone on the map there, and Fan wisely on the other side of the map backs off out of the rotation that was coming his way.
It was the right thing to do, because he was already on a killing spree, and, well, oh, Queen of Pain. Nice damage there here on the creeps and chains. Is it enough? Oh, they actually get him down. So you just traded your life for pretty much 2 creeps stolen, and that's both cores down for Vici Gaming. That's so far they have done amazing trades and a nice start into this game. But with these plays, you throw away a lot.
Yeah, definitely so. The Queen of Pain being quite valuable there in that pickup, and the Bloodseeker highest net worth on the game going down just earlier. So things looking a little better for EP, and as Zhao Tule has picked up his levels, he really has been able to rotate around and make some plays, and just a bit of a misstep there from the Queen of Pain into the jungle. But either way, EP looking better and better here. Full drums picked up onto Fan's Ember Spirit, and with those arcanes popped by 5400, it looks like they'll assemble towards mid and maybe look to fight.
And there's a nice fissure, just securing that this double damage is going to go to the Earthshaker Bloodrite, just zoning them out at the moment. And on a side note, I find it so hilarious ever since there are betting sites out there that allow betting on the first 10 kills. The chat is going totally haywire as soon as that 10th kill is happening. Everybody's like, oh, fuck you, Queen of Pain, why did you do that, you know?
10-9 is exactly how you want to have it to happen, I'm sure, if you have heart issues and you're betting on this game. But either way, EP gonna jump in and place a high ground ward. They're not gonna find anyone just yet, but Dogfights and Yang both waiting on the wayward side. Searing Chains is gonna find one. They're gonna overlap it with the telekinesis, but they'll bring him down easily within time. Wall is gonna be popped here, but Fan can easily just remnant out of this one, so somewhat of a zoning wall here mid lane. Meanwhile, on the east side, Zhao Tule looking to find someone. He finds James, will be able to dodge the LSA, but he catches the Laguna to the face, and the Sonic Wave will secure his death. Meanwhile, on the other side of things, the Bloodseeker was brought down by the other 4 heroes of EP, so they end up losing their Clockwork, but they get the Bloodseeker and that Earthshaker.
That was totally worth what the Clockwork did there. I mean, he did not end up with the kill, but he was the sponge of soaking everything up. No Laguna Plate, no Sonic Wave, and look at this, beautiful. James is trying to get a Light Strike Array through, but it completely whiffs. Now the Darkseer has to search out. Do they actually follow up? No, there's no mana. The Fissure will also secure. Nobody's actually manually just going for it. There's no cliff available. This is a guaranteed tier 1 tower, but they lose the Earthshaker, they lose both of their cores, and that was not really worth it. All that just for a Clockwork. That's not how you really want to do it. So Vici a bit crumbling here, and as I said, pushing both of your big spells into like that Clockwork just to prevent the Lina from getting killed.
Yeah, it's
the best outcome.
That was definitely the play there from the Queen of Pain. Lin just trying to save James, who else would have died, and very nicely played, as you mentioned. Able to zone out, not only zone out those 2 heroes, but force out both their big damage ultimates there, and EP able to roll with the engagement thereafter and find that tier 1 mid lane.
I think they're gonna rotate just to the next tier 1 tower, while Vici cannot like mount a defense and or go for a decent trade. It looks like I'm wrong. they go directly into the mid. Of course, that's a tower that is available. There's just a zoning blood right, checking if there's something behind the tower. Cliffs being used, I think, just on one side at the moment, and they want to defend. The Clockwork has a hook shot, has I think a clean shot here on the Lina, or the Bloodseeker. Bloodseeker is definitely in. That's a ton of damage right there. But of course, Laguna Blade, everything. Rupture even cast on him, and the Queen of Pain is going down. Doesn't manage to get the blink out. Ramdan forward. They want to find more. They want to find any victim, but they're going and disperse in the right direction. That is north and west at this point. But the Ember Spirit, maybe the right sniff here. Sniff, sniff. Maybe he gets the track of Mr. Earthshaker. No.
Did you just use a dank meme? Did you just like call shout out Ziori in the middle of a cast?
No, that was not.
Either way, Zhao Tulei gonna find out Yang top lane. He's got the surge available, but the Searing Chains are gonna be committed here from Fan. LSA comes out. It's gonna be a little too late to save Yang here. The wall comes out though, and Yang getting fairly low. 2 more right clicks from James will not be enough. 5400 should be able to rotate back out. The engagement coming down from the bottom. Old Chicken caught out a little far forward. He will get mech'd up, but brought very low. And the telekinesis up onto James, though, keeps him back. The Fisher going to be there from range. Echo Slam as well, keeping Zhao Tulei back. James going to be earned up and kept to safety. Rupture going to be popped once again on Zhao Tulei. He's got a hook shot available. The Grave is there as well. Maybe he wants to throw this out now. He's just going to try and walk away, but will end up going down. Shadow Fiend Clockwork for the Darkseer. A little bit of a misstep from EP there for the first time in at least 5 minutes.
Nah, that was just too deep. Like, yeah, no. Like, there's nothing else to comment on this. It was just way too deep, and not the the good kind of too deep.
And the tier 1 took me a moment. Their tier 1 going to be brought down in the safe lane. EP Fan waiting up in the trees and won't be able to re-engage there as the Clockwork still not respawning for that defense. So a couple of minutes of fortune here for VG, and they're able to punish Energy Pacemaker, who looked pretty damn good in the last couple of minutes. Ogre Club on top of the mech for Old Chicken, and still is a little while away from his BKB, but it seems he heard your calls from last game, not having that BKB, just not allowing him to do enough in those team fights, and he'll rush it here.
Oh, sorry, I'm laughing with the chat still. Oh, well, a new meme was born right here, right there. Well, bottom, there's actually not much to take. They can go for the jungle, get some farm right there, but I think Vici Gaming, after the relatively last successful fight where they were able to punish EP, maybe they go for something. But then again, the Bloodseeker, for example, farming directly under a ward, and there's the hookshot already in. The problem is so many people. Nice scream here, stolen by the Rubik. That is the damage right there. The problem is, well, is there a turnaround? Nope, they don't really feel like it.
Yeah, 5400 pick up this Blink Dagger at around 12 minutes. After that, 5 or so minutes of great trades coming EP's way, and already putting it to use there, looking much like a Queen of Pain himself. Blink Scream with the Blood Rage pop by XLL. Perfect timing for them to jump in there. Zhao Tulei, as I alluded to in the draft, making way more plays on this Clockwork than he was even able to do on that Pugna, and that's just the nature of the hero doing work for EP here.
And at the moment, it doesn't seem like they go for anything. Like with the Bloodseeker down, that's an easy tier 2 tower, and of course also nice income here for EP. 18 minutes in, it's time to actually pay a bit attention to the grass, because there is some advantage now heading towards EP. It is 3k climbing with that tower probably for a tiny bit more. They take everything of the enemy jungle on the way out, and there's also Roshan soon an option. I mean, usually in Chinese Dota we don't see a Roshan below 20 minutes. Like the average Roshan, I think, is about between 25 and 30, because till then it's mostly fairly even. Nice cogs, by the way, to stone on Roshan. He's like, I want to hit you, but no, it's not gonna work. And it seems like they're gonna go through with this Roshan. So if we summarize the last 2 minutes, this is kill the core, farm the entire enemy jungle, get a tier 2 tower and Roshan. So that's a nice little snowball that's building up here for EP.
And a fresh 10-second BKB for Old Chicken as well. So Aegis and BKB available to that Shadow Fiend. Vici looks like they were aware of that Roche, but it came a little bit too late. They smoke and we're looking to maybe contest, but now probably will think better of this unless someone is a little bit too far forward from EP. Old Chicken gonna walk up the high ground, get a little vision, and just retreat back. Say, guys, yeah, we got time. We got 5 minutes with this Aegis. Let's just farm up perhaps our next item. And the Battle Fury is very close for Fan here on the Ember Spirit. Only about 600 gold away from that. So look for them to pick it up and maybe go put that Aegis to use.
Like, there was a smoke in the meantime by Vici that was more or less like stalling sometime in the mid and then waiting till, you know, someone flies in. That did not work at all. Instead, they want to go for the tier 1 tower, but with that cliff, they baited, but nicely done here. Going on the other side of the creep wave, making sure the Clockwork is not in range, and that is a tower denied, so even less gold for Vici. And Clockwork, is that a hookshot? It would be too deep. Well, I'm not gonna go for that.
It would be definitely a little bit scary there. Haste Rune going to be popped by Fan top lane. And they are going to look to pressure this tier 1. Glyph is available for the Radiant side, and the rotations are coming through. Rocket Flare may have glanced at James's Lina here. Zhao Tulei certainly going to look to find someone out in the back lines, but they do have this invisible Queen of Pain for Lin, and they can look for a pretty big Sonic Wave here. Rocket Flare going to do some scouting. Glyph going to be popped up. Lin very deep right now. And the fish are going to come out onto Fan. There's the silence and the Sonic Wave coming out from the Orchid. Fan running away, though, is going to be brought down to that Soul Burn. Meanwhile, on the back lines, they've picked off XLL in the cogs. Nice hook shot once again from Zhao Tulei. 1 for 1. Ember for BS. 1 position for 1 position, but EP still holding that Aegis advantage and are aggressing forward.
Yep, and I can finish easily that tier 1 tower. There's no way you can actually defend this. So another tower going down with a decent core for core trade. If you get a core for core trade and a tower on top, that's always like the, you know, the how you say, the icing on top of the cake, pretty much. So they can even continue at least some chip damage on the tier 2 tower. I'm not sure if it's enough because there's already James. Dragon Slave forward, the creep wave cleared out. Shadow Fiend at this point so tanky, and of course very. Yeah, additional pair pretty much thanks to that Aegis. So they get some chip damage. Maybe it's even enough.
Yeah, and we will see Dogfights even Lei, sorry, wrong team, even heal up the Siege Creep a couple of times with that Shadow Wave and continue to prevent the backdoor regeneration from kicking in here. Glyph is available for this tier 2 for the Radiant side, and everyone is available, or alive I should say now, but they will concede that one over and look for a trade bot lane with Lin, who will now be forced to back off. TP's coming through from 5400, has the Blink Dagger available, but Lin, wisely so, is going to be able to extricate herself from that danger.
Yep, with the last some trades and good trades for EP, they were able to double up the net worth on their side, but still, 22 minutes in, their Midas is running. Vici still has the same potential. Okay, that is also such a stupid pun. That was unintended, actually. Vici has the potential now to actually come back on this one. Like, one good fight, like blowing up the right targets with that combination of pure damage and spell piercing damage. Yeah, this could easily still turn around. But they still have the Aegis, and therefore they will push a fight. Tier 2 mid seems to be the next target. Clockwork is a nice angle where he can actually find something, and the funny thing is he finds the Bloodseeker. That would be an interesting pickoff, but no, he's not going for it.
Yeah, pushes out the wave in the meantime top though, while Yang tries to push that in, and they will assemble still with this Aegis for another full minute onto Old Chicken towards this tier 2. Zhao Tulei gonna find a hook into the creep wave, and they are not going to be able to aggress forward onto that. It does zone them out for the time being, but the hook is now down. Blink forward, though, from 5400. Telekinesis up onto James. They'll be able to melt that Lina. And Blade Mail not even needed there from Zhao Tulei, but perhaps worried about a Laguna Blade there. And now the tier 2 is going to suffer mid. The Glyph available once again for the Radiant side, but they will hold on to it. Perhaps a little bit worried about this high ground push with the Aegis still available onto Old Chicken. But as previously mentioned, it is expiring in a matter of seconds now. So EP do need to be a bit careful. Jump forward, though, with the Remnant. They're going to find Dogfights. He will get his Echo Slam off, but zero follow-up, and it doesn't even do too much damage. The Vacuum Wall will be onto 4 targets, though. Sonic Wave is there as well, only if they had an Echo Slam after that Vacuum. That may have been a full 5-man wipe. It'll force EP out, and the Aegis should expire soon to give the regeneration buff to Old Chicken. He picks up his S&Y as well, so maybe they actually just look to reset and go back in. But the Earthshaker going to be up in 5 seconds, so EP need to be a little bit careful. There's the regen, going to bring Old Chicken back up to a healthy state. And they will continue the slow siege, much like we saw in Game 1. And hopefully for their sake, it ends up faring a little better for them this time.
I don't like how VG at the moment handles that pressure. For the tier 2 tower, I think they did the right decision after James was brought down so easily. Just avoid them, try to get some split push in, try to get some farm instead of just sitting in the base. But, oh, Dark's here. Wow, I wasn't sure whose Fisher that was. I was just about to say, man, Earthshaker, that was a bad Fisher, but it was actually the Rubik's one. So, nice little X mark there on the spot.
Yeah, instant cast coming out from that Rubik. He does get a little bit low. It's going to be healed up by the Dazzle, just out of Thirst Vision range now. But EP need to be a little bit careful here. They're just continuing to pressure Yang and his squad up on the high ground while Fan farms their jungle with his fresh Battle Fury. But you need to be a little bit careful from the Blink initiation. They're going to come with their own Blink initiation from 5400. BKB going to be popped by Old Chicken, but everyone just able to back off from VG potential, and now for sure we will see Energy Pacemaker getting the hell out of here with that 10-second BKB charge down. They are going to smoke though and maybe look for someone to run a little bit too far out of base. There is a Queen of Pain up in their jungle. Not sure if they caught vision of her near the wave, but it doesn't seem like that's the case. Old Chicken going to jump up with his smoke, and he's probably going to have it popped fairly soon here. He will see Lin up near the wave just now. No Yule Scepter on the Shadow Fiend though, so he's going to have to wait for 5400's Rubik, and the TP up north by Lin will keep him safe. Good game sense once again from the Queen of Pain.
Ah, the Clockwork, that would have been interesting there. Blind hookshot, but he doesn't have an Arcanum Scepter, so he's, I guess, hanging on a bit there with his hookshots at this point.
They thought that the 5400 Fisher might be able to get it, but just barely short.
Yeah. Still, I mean, I said it already, like, Vici not handling the pressure very well. For a tier 1 tower, for a tier 2 tower, dispersing, finding farm somewhere else, that's fine. But, I mean, in the mid, the Echo Flame came out in sort of a panicked reaction there, or trying to lock them down. But the Bloodseeker, for example, didn't get back. If you remember, when the wall was cast, a lot of them were really, really unhealthy when it comes to the HP pool. A Rupture there would have been like an easy kill on just at least one target and repelled EP. This way, sure, the Bloodseeker got some farm somewhere else in the lane or in the jungle, but like it's still not a kill, and a kill would always be better because it costs the enemy also a lot of XP. Plus, at this point, EP has killing spree on multiple heroes, which means those kills are really high value targets. But it didn't go for it. Bloodseeker just didn't come back into this. So, yeah, VG in game 1, it looked much better what they did there. They were early game much better able to put pressure on EP, and then EP wasn't handling it very well. Now it's the other way around.
Midas going to start to pay dividends here for XLL. He's close to his BKB, still about 475 gold away from that. 5400 stalking him though with the Fisher. Will be there with the Telekinesis, Fade Bolt, and the Remnant Bomb onto XLL. He'll get forced back though, still brought down to those Searing Chains tick. The Orchid will be out onto Fan, and he's used up his Remnants. Or at least one of them, but the hook shot comes in from Zhao Tulei, and Fan will be able to TP out. Oh no, he gets LSA'd at the last moment. Shadow Strike is there, and may not be able to tick him down actually. He will even dodge it with the Sleight of Fist, and even for value, will get a couple hits off onto the Ancients. Nicely played. Meanwhile, Old Chicken going to jump forward with his squad. Rocket Flare going to finish off the Earthshaker, and it ends up being a 2-0 going the way of EP. And Fan going to be able to find a rune as well to regen himself up.
Yep, definitely. What I would like on the Ember Spirit is actually now a BUT's build or something like that, because for him it would be really worth it to just come in and out of these fights like we saw right now. He went for, well, the Face Boots, which is nice early game because it carries so much damage, plus you can really pursue targets. Darkseer, that's of course really bad, the position he is, because he's surrounded. Like from the north there, people coming in with a haste run looking for him. He's trying to search out, but if he goes for those creeps right there with the Iron Shell, they pretty much saw him, and of course that's bad news. Bling, bling, ping, ping, and he sees him, the chains, and I think that's pretty much the end of his life. The rest of the team will converge and he will search out, but there's also the Shadow Fiend blocking at least one little gate, and look at Speedy Gonzalez. 10 jukes, but eventually you have to forfeit your life right there.
Ring around the rosy was fun, but Yang gonna fall there in the bottom lane, down for 40 plus seconds. Does have buyback available. It's still a nice kill going EP's way. Roshan respawn now, and they're gonna scout it just as it does. So with the rotation in from the Dazzle soon as well, they should be able to bring this down very quickly.
Yeah, and while all this is happening and they still get here and there the occasional kill, just because it's so nice and tasty, we have, well, Queen of Pain as well as the Lina farming, but the Clockwork saw this. He still doesn't know who is actually behind that, so going for a blind hookshot is not happening. But it's fine. Like, he knows exactly where they are, he scouted them out, and they just get Roshan easily, plus a double stack on Old Chicken here. With the Aegis, I guess it's the dawn of a high ground push. No outer towers left. Old Chicken, we saw that the Old Chicken gets a very ballsy chicken once he has that Aegis. And yeah.
Old Chicken becomes pissed off Old Chicken.
It's an angry chicken for all those Hearthstone players. They know what I mean.
Manta soon to come out as well for Fen, it seems. He's got a Yasha at least for now. The Orchid has been focused on him every single time from the Queen of Pain, so that'll be nice for him to be able to dispel that silence. Looks like it's going to be a Scotty build for Old Chicken, as is customary on this SF, and he's fairly close to it right now. He has the Aegis, so doesn't necessarily need to save for buyback. He's purchased up that Ultimate Orb and actually the point booster, so once he grabs that Orb of Venom, that's a full Scotty available to him.
Yep, not just the items now. Even at the current state of the game, I think they're in a way where they can get Drax, but it kind of depends on what they get. But oh, was that a hookshot? Did I just... No, it was just me hearing stuff.
They jump in though from the Clockwork, and he's going to be finished off.
Him in the base.
Yeah, it was either a vacuum or a Force Staff. I think.
No, it was a vacuum.
Yeah.
He used the vacuum. I didn't see that. I just turned the camera away because I thought, okay, he's not going to go for that hookshot, so boring. But he actually vacuumed him in the base, and I was like, whoa, how did he get there? Well, nice kill on the Clockwork.
Very nice.
With one down and one being top, like the Ember Spirit looking for the Bloodseeker. Yeah, they kind of shot their own foot right here, or own leg, you say in English, right? So, yeah.
No, you say foot. Shot themselves in the foot.
That's cool.
Yep. Full Scotty on the Courier for the Shadow Fiend, and the full Manta as well there for the Ember Spirit. So as this Clockwork respawns, they'll continue to keep the wave pushed in and go back up on the high ground. So definitely a nice play from Yang and crew there onto the Clockwork, but only going to delay the push for now. Old Chicken just going to jump up to the high ground. He's going to force out the Glyph on that tier 3, and we'll try to get those last right clicks off. He needs to be a bit careful. But he's going to have the Solar Crest buff popped onto him from Lei's Dazzle, who has picked that up recently. And he'll be able to put some more punishment over into that tier 3.
They have to engage soon, but Old Chicken already swapped to the range tracks, knowing that there will be soon something coming. James is not casting anything. Again, trying to find something with the steering. Oh, Lina lifted into the air, but nice little vacuum. Step forward. She's absolutely getting blown up. Old Chicken just pop on everything, and in the backgrounds, we have the Clockwork just going for something, but that's also not really working out. It's 2 down, and he actually makes it out. I'm so surprised about this.
Yeah, they nicely placed Grave onto Lei, saves 5400 as well, who just TPs out of the base, and that denies up the thirst stacks from the Bloodseeker. So EP just able to stand up mid lane and bring down that lane Arax with relative ease. 2-0 going their way in the mid lane, and no Sonic Wave still available for 10 seconds there. Now for the Queen of Pain. So Lin jumping back to base, trying to regen it up, while the Aegis is still available for just under 2 minutes for Old Chicken.
Yeah, I mean, Elena Rex down at 30 minutes. The Aegis is still available. Old Chicken on very, very decent HP. There's the Vive on both cores. That is, of course, very, very nice. I mean, look at the armor. Plus, there's a Solar Crest. I mean, Jesus, the armor on the Shadow Fiend.
Yeah, they jump in though. Fisher with the Sonic Wave and the Scream. They'll blow up Fan very quickly before he's able to Manta. Old Chicken though just going to turn and fight, and the Shao Lei hookshot is going to come in onto XLL. Nice vacuum to keep the Bloodseeker safe by Yang. The Rupture is going to come out onto the Clockwork as well, but he'll just pop the BKB and look to man up. Yang is going to get brought down there. Fade Bolt going to be coming in from 5400's Rubik to finish him off. Glimmer Cape onto Shao Lei as well. The Bloodright will be there. So much magic damage on top of this Glimmer Cape, but the Requiem comes out from Old Chicken. They bring down 1. That's Lin and Darkseer. They'll buy back. Jump forward. Echo Slam onto 3. And it brings down 1. That's the Clockwork dying. But Old Chicken still manning up. Still has the Aegis. And throwing a raise towards XLL. Still fighting here. Blood Rage onto Lin. Makes him take so much damage. And Old Chicken brings him down. Bloodright is going to be there onto the Shadow Fiend. But he's still so healthy. He'll bring down the Darkseer. GG is called Ultra Kill for that angry ass chicken. And he is just going to run amok through the base. EP really picking up their socks in Game 2, looking a lot sharper after a tough loss in Game 1.
they just didn't finish Old Chicken there. And even if the Aegis was still up, even by the end we see the score screen here, Old Chicken just standing there in the mid like a pillar of the community and just dishing out nice little white Scotty lasers to everybody, even into the buyback heroes. So he was really just standing there. This was more or less the only problem he had in this fight was selecting targets. Okay, who do I just right-click next? He was going for it. Nobody finished him off. And Vici just taking big fat punches. And, well, EP showed the potential. They actually have Vici's potential, not so big this game. They just didn't get well out of the early game. That's it.
They went back for them comfort zone picks, and Dogfight's just not as effective as he was in game 1. Both Echo Slams were nice, but neither had any follow-up available, so perhaps a miscommunication from VG. But either way, guys, first series of the night goes down in a draw, 1-1. Your Bugattis were saved by EP, and we will have 3 more BO2s coming your way the next